that money, dummy, do it for the love. And I'm hungry, did I mention money? Cop cars, now I need that airplane money. Hardly laugh in the ghetto, being broke ain't funny. We built for this homie, yeah, we run the streets. You see me everywhere, Jewed up, tucking the heat. Yo, I rap for the hustlers, put my life on this beat. We all we got.
So the next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is a feud between Gary Russell Jr. and Terence Crawford. So basically, Terence Crawford made a video. You can pull this up on YouTube where he's talking about how when he was like 18 years old, he had a bad sparring day. So did Gary Russell. Gary Russell came up to him and basically said, you were getting worked in sparring. He responded by saying, yeah, so were you. At some point, Gary Russell punches Terence Crawford in the face. Terence Crawford says people start to hold him back, and he wants to get at Gary Russell Jr. And then he says the coach wouldn't let him fight Gary Russell Jr. because he wanted to fight Gary Russell Jr. But at the time, he was like 132 pounds. Gary Russell Jr. was 119 pounds. So the coach won't let them get in the ring and mix it up. So then, he says he got kicked off the team because they knew that he was going to go after Gary Russell. And so that's what he said. And then Gary Russell responded to the video. I'm just summarizing TC's video because TC was very, relaxed and mild manner in the video. But Gary Russell Jr. really, he wasn't that way. When Gary Russell Jr. responded, it was more like, my man don't want no smoke, but I do. And so here's Gary Russell's response to Terence Crawford.
Hold up, man. Hey, this shit crazy. Now y'all got Terence Crawford coach, somebody who wasn't up there at the Olympic Training Center talking about I snuck him. Terence, stop this shit, man. Stop this shit. You came to me, you was talking reckless out your mouth, very aggressive. You got punched in the fucking face. You got punched in the fucking face. They made you the pound for pound. You're supposed to be pound for pound. If you a fucking fighter, if you got punched in the face, you got punched in the face and grabbed your mouth. You grabbed your face. Then people came in between. Don't act like you attempted to fight back. Stop faking. You supposed to be a world-class fighter from the pound for pound list. Don't counter punch and count for something. You should be able to take a shot and fire something right back in response. That's what boxers do. Come on, man, get the fuck out of here. Don't try to spin it and act like somebody snuck you. You came to me. You came to me and asked questions. When I answered your question, you want to do all this loud yelling, rough, tough, like you about that life, and I punched you in the fucking face. That's it. That's all. You grabbed your mouth. Stop faking like somebody, like we jumped in, broke it up. I'm not one of them suckers, shorty. Stop playing with me, Terrence. You know what time it is, man. You know me from the amateurs. You know how it is, man. Don't play them games, man. I just wanted to let y'all know what really happened, because you got people out here trying to save face, acting like, well, he snuck him, he did this. Ain't nobody sneak you. You came to me asking questions, getting records out the mouth. What, you thought I wasn't going to punch you in the fucking face? You tripping. Play them games with somebody else, man. I just had to come on here and say that, man. And his coach wasn't even there. He don't know what the fuck happened. Ask everybody else what happened. Ask all the people that's competing in the sport of boxing right now that was there, that seen what happened. Ask them. How about the reporters go and holler at Saddam Ali? How about one of the reporters go and holler at Demetrius Andrade? You know what I'm saying? How about the reporters go and holler at one of them and ask them what really happened? Since motherfuckers lying and y'all the ones bluffing. Stop this, man. I've been a monster since I was a youngin'. I've been a monster since I was a dog. Ask my man Andre Berto about me. He a good friend of mine now. Everybody know Andre Berto. That was my guy. Good friend of mine. But he'll tell you I've been a dog. I could tell this story. About me and Andre Berto because he tell it his damn self, you know what I'm saying? I be telling him not to tell nobody this shit. But he do anyway. You know what I'm saying? But when we was in the amateurs, and I was in the silver gloves, when we was 8, 9, and 10 years old, Andre Berto beat one of my friends up. I got mad and caught him in the bathroom. And sent him out the bathroom crying. But we friends now. That's my man. But I'm just letting you know that the pedigree's been here. I've been a monster since a youngin'. Stop playing. Stop faking like it's not real, shorty. Ain't nobody sneak you, man. Ain't nobody sneak you shit.
All right, so 2 more points that I want to make before we go ahead. Both men cite Demetrius Andrade as a source that you can go to for the truth. And Terence Crawford says that Gary Russell Jr. offered to move up to 147 to fight him. But in that video, Terence Crawford doesn't say he would accept the fight with Gary Russell at 147. He said he'll fight him in the street, but he won't fight him in the ring. All right, so G, what's your thoughts on it?
This whole conversation was like kind of stupid, to be honest. Like, bruh, you brought up Andre Berto, talk about 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, yo, fam, you bro that man. You talking about Berto when he was a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like,
saying he's been a beast since back then, though. That's what he was saying.
Been a dog since he was in diapers. Like, I got you.
Man, he had to give Berto that work when they were like 9 years old.
He crying. I'm like, bro, he was 8 years old, fam. Like, that's what you
gotta understand, man. I feel where he's coming from. It's like an OG thing. Like, at one point, he was able to beat Berto, but now Berto's bigger, whatever. You know, it's just. But back then,
it was cute. You know what I mean? But to me, this whole conversation is pointless. Gary Russell Jr. is the lightweight division. He's not on 147 like at all. Like, he's too small. It doesn't even make sense for TC to even fight this dude because it'd be too one-sided. You know, like when I seen Gary fight Lomachenko, that was embarrassing. Like, Loma was like spanking the man. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's what TC brought up.
Yeah, that fight was horrible. I was like, damn, Gary Russell Jr. What? You know what I'm saying? So
that was like his 3rd professional fight too.
Yeah, this is bad.
His 3rd fight.
Loma treated him like a child. Like, yo, come over here, get this spanking. You know what I mean? So man, listen, if Loma could do that in that weight division, moving up, man, them punches just hurt even more. So Gary, you my mans, yo. Well, not necessarily, but I do respect you. Bro, don't do this to yourself, man. It ain't even that serious. Like, to me, it's not that serious. Now, I actually agree with when I hear the story, I do believe TC. I do believe it was a sucker punch. But Gary's trying to justify the sucker punch. If you notice what he's doing, he's like, you was talking spicy in my face. You knew what time it was. Like, bruh, he was talking spicy. He's probably like, yo, let's get in the ring and just handle it like men. You took the street route and just, punched him. I don't think TC was expecting the punch. That's why I think when both men are mentioning the situation, like, TC's like, yo, ask Demetrius, yo. Like, you sucker punch me. And he's like, nah, ask Demetrius, you was in my face. Like, yeah, I believe both sides are telling the truth. TC got in your face, talking spicy, and then you just rocked him real fast. But salute to Gary Russell for making it entertaining. I like the fact he was like, yo, you was holding your jaw. You was holding your face. I'm going to use that. I'm going to put that in my my G lexicon now. You know what I'm saying? So
it was the counter punch.
You know, I didn't counter punch that. Like, come on. Maybe he was shocked and he's like, I pity this little guy. You know what I mean? So it's probably one of those, like, yo, how dare you? And then, obviously, you're talking about the Olympics, so nobody wants that type of stuff on the team. So, they immediately broke that up. So that's why I believe both sides, but I'm leaning more on TC's side. I do believe TC was like, yo, you sucker punch me. And on TC, and this is where I do defend TC. If TC sets up that fight, everybody's going to disrespect TC. It's like, come on, bro. Why are you fighting a dude that's not even...
I disagree. Hold up. Here's why I disagree. Okay? Because, like, a rap battle, for example. Mm-hmm. See, rap battles in my day, I'm saying my day. See, that's how I know I'm getting up there. Like you know, you talk to the older heads and they're like, in my day, and you'll be like, shut up, man. Nobody wants to hear that. Like, I'm turning into that guy because I see it now. Like, a rap battle used to be something personal. It was like, this rapper says something about you, whatever, spur of the moment. Like, y'all are outside, and then it's just going. It's personal. It's not premeditated. It's not nothing. Now, like, battle rap has become a geek sport. It's like algorithm, written punchlines, like what's design. It's like, you know, take a photograph and I'm gonna pull it out at this time and bring my boys to say ooh after I say poo poo. Like, it's just stupidness, right? Like, it's a clown sport now. But back in the day, it was personal. So, like, for me, lyrically, these backpack geek rap battles, you know, algorithm, Nielsen report, punchline tested battle raps. Are they better lyrically? I guess maybe, but they don't have like the energy as like when it was personal. When it was like, I see you, I don't like you, you don't like me, I don't like your raps, you don't like my raps, we going outside, everybody's there. And it was just maybe lyrically, it wasn't, you know, it's not a written, tested, data-driven battle rap, but it was personal. It was more entertaining, and it was more likely that something would pop off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was raw. It wasn't what it is now. I like that, and I say that to say, when you look at Gary Russell and Terence Crawford, yeah, man, TC is bigger. He's 20 pounds heavier than him, like at the moment. Well, 25 pounds heavier than him at the moment. Was it 147 or 25 pounds heavier than him? But here's the deal. If they get in the ring, it's personal. People always want to see a personal, man. You're into a personal. The energy's different when it's a personal. This man snuffed TC when they were 18. TC was holding his jaw.
Holding his
like
face.
this. Like this. He was holding it like this. He couldn't even counter punch. You know what I'm saying?
Shouty. Don't play with me, shouty.
Exactly. And now that he is the number one pound for pound, Gary Russell want to bring this up. Oh, I'd love to see it. I don't care. TC get a pass for me. This is selling the old score. If Gary want to move up, if Gary want to gain 25 pounds and move up to 147 to fight TC, to settle the score from when he sucker punched TC when they were 18 years old, I want to see it. That's a personal. They're settling a personal. Hey, listen. For me, you get a pass if you settling personal beefs in the ring instead of in the street. All it takes is gaining. But then TC's talking about, oh, I won't do it in the ring. Let's do it in the street. I'm like, what kind of crap is that? What kind of message are you sending? Like, what? Y'all both can do it and get paid for it. It can be you can do it and be done in the ring. Yeah, Gary Russell's shorter. Yeah, Gary Russell's smaller. But if he ain't worried about it, why are you worried about it? He's the one with the disadvantage, and he still want to fight you. So, hey, what it is, put some respect on Gary Russell's name. Although what he did with Leo Santa Cruz and his dad, I'm not a big fan of that. That was some cornball stuff. But in this situation, you know, it is what it is. But I'll give you the floor back. I know I kind of took it, but I'm just saying, man, I don't want to hear that. When it's personal, it's personal. Settle the personal beef in the ring. Ain't that what everyone's trying to get people to do? Right? You got a personal, settle it in the ring.
Ain't nobody gonna pay for that pay-per-view, bro.
You said it gotta be pay-per-view.
It don't gotta be pay-per-view,
Do it on ESPN. Hey,
that pay-per-view status.
I got you. What would you be more interested in? That fight or Kavaliauskas? TC versus Gary Russell Jr. or TC versus Kavaliauskas?
Right. However,
might as well do Gary Russell
for TC, man. It just sucks to be TC. But go ahead, Ned.
Let me say this, man. It don't make sense. You get punched in your mouth in a boxing gym and you don't glove up. Like that. That's where I'm like, all right, you hit me in my mouth. Let's end the let's fight it out in the ring now. Like, you know,
it's the Olympics, bro. You can't.
It's sparring.
Exactly. They could have sparred.
They could handle it.
Both of them just had a sparring match.
But so what? They could have gone back in. TC, according to TC's story, the coach wouldn't let them spar because Gary Russell was 119 and he was 132.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. And you know TC was going to take his head off. It would have been a good look.
How you know that, though? I don't know. Gary Russell, hey,
He just punched him in the face. Remember what he just said? You was holding your face. So think about
face, dog. So hey, I'm just saying.
Holding your jaw. Don't play with me shouting.
But my point is this: Gary Russell doesn't seem to be afraid or care about the disadvantages that he would have going into that fight. So why are you worried about it?
Because he clout chasing.
Yo, and it's not clout chasing. You know why? I'm going to break it down. When I break it down like this, you're going to be like, oh, okay. His disadvantages are no different than the disadvantages Mike Tyson had fighting someone like Buster Douglas, are no different than the disadvantages Mike Tyson had fighting someone like Frank Bruno. See, when it comes to these little divisions, though, we always like baby it. Like we always want to say whatever. So, okay, 132 pounds.
Yeah, listen, I already had this debate with you. You're right. I actually agree with you.
Okay.
And it's a matter of what, like 10, 15 pounds? I got you.
It's a matter, yeah, exactly. It's a matter of 10, 15 pounds and some inches in height, right? But that happens in the heavyweight division all the freaking time. Even Deontay Wilder, we clown Deontay Wilder on the show for throwing in the towel, right? When he fought Fury, he was 230 pounds. Fury was basically 280 pounds. Gave up 50 pounds in weight. Nobody feels sorry for Deontay Wilder. So why do I care about Gary Russell Jr. and Terence Crawford with this 15-pound stuff? It's a joke. Like, come on, man.
The fact that Gary Russell bringing it up after like 30 now, it was there 8. It's like over 10 years, man. You hating, bro. Like
because you ain't getting no play in these streets.
Yeah, yo, come on, yo. So it's like your big cousin who used to beat you up when you was like 8, 10, yo. Now y'all the same. Now y'all grown. Like you got all the advantages. Your growth spurts here and then. Hey, cut it out, man. Like, let's stop it, man.
Hold on.
I gave him wedgies.
That's the point I'm making. Is you like for Gary, that's why he brought up when he beat up Berto. It was like, back in the day.
About 8, 9, 10 years old for him. Like, it's outrageous, man. It's just too much, man. I don't know. Y'all got any final thoughts on this?
No, I got some.
Oh, go ahead.
I gotta remember it though. Y'all done threw me off balance. Y'all done threw me off my game. Cause y'all say some crazy stuff around here.
Cool situation for TC. And this is what I wanted to say. This is where we finally disagree, me and Kate, right? So this is where I'm like, I have to agree with TC. Nobody want to see that fight. It ain't gonna be a pay-per-view attraction. So, and I feel like once you go pay-per-view, it's hard to go back down. Because it's like then it's like your star power diminishes. So it's like if you're gonna fight people, you gotta have to fight somebody that's on your level at the very least to maintain your pay-per-view status. Because it's really hard, especially for a TC. Because if TC's not fighting household names, why die? Like to me, it's like, why go up just to regress? Like it's like it doesn't make sense. It's just like, yo, bro, you're up here. Fight people up here. Don't go back down to fight like dudes that are like in the 130 division. It's just, even though I understand what Kate is saying, like, yo, bro, it's like a difference of like 15 pounds, who cares? But it's like, it's Gary Russell though. Like, the dude's like really, really small. It looks too one-sided. It's just not even fair. So
it probably would be one-sided.
So to me, just settle that in some local.
So why didn't anyone care when Lennox Lewis knocked out David Tua? Why did no one care?
Because it's a heavyweights, bro. Like
no, but my point is the same. It's the same.
I agree. I agree with
the same everything.
But it's just, I'm being real. Like last night watching them fights, I'm watching a bunch of little guys taking so many shots, and I'm just like, golly, man. You know what I mean? So like to me. This is where I agree with Trill, and I agree with you, Katie. I feel like we have too many weight divisions. I do agree with that. But when I see Gary Russell and when I see TC, I see major height and weight disadvantages on what's his name, Gary Russell's end. So I know he's gonna get murdered in that ring. It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, Gary Russell, you stick to the 130 division and just stay there. I could even respect if Gary Russell was calling out like a Ryan Garcia or, somebody in the 135 division. At least that's more realistic for me. You want to jump all the way up to 147, and it's like, bro, ain't nobody looking for you in the 147 division. Like, just stay where you at, bro. It's okay. Your fight will come. have patience, have faith. You know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna say, hey, let's fight. You know, like ever since took that fight with Tank, my man don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So
Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Leo Santa
If I
Cruz.
was Leo Santa Cruz, I wouldn't give him the fight after what he did with my dad.
No, I agree. I'm saying, like, hey, like, Russell, it's okay, bro. Like, yo, I feel like dudes is taking this. This is what I think. This is like the this is what I don't like about like rap. I'll bring an analogy kind of like what you did, right? When rappers want to get put on, what do? They just make a diss track to the dude up top, right? Like, so many rappers were dissing Jay-Z, but Jay-Z just ignores them. Because it's like, for me, even acknowledging you gives you clout. So why would I even acknowledge you? If I was TC, I'd be like, okay, we were 18. Yeah, he got a punch off, but it got broken up. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But TC's talking like he wants to fight, but then going like, I'm not going to fight you. I'm saying, yo, both guys are wrong. TC, just be like, yo, bro, you know where I stay. You know my number. Come holler at me. And then they could just resolve that in the gym. Like, if he entertains it publicly, it kind of is like it's a lose-lose for TC. Then if TC goes, you know what? I can't take it no more. Set up the fight. And then he beats this dude up. What are people going to say? We're all going to be like, yo, you going to beat up on little man? Like, bro, you a bully, son.
Who's going to say that? You going to say that. Everybody's not going to say that. You going to say that.
Everyone's going to say that. Kater's saying this right now until he sees Gary Russell leaving.
I'm not going to say any of that, bro. I'm going to tell you like this.
Mm-hmm.
You just brought me back. Thank you, G.
No,
you took me off and now you brought me back. Thank you. See, your craziness just threw me off and then your craziness brought me back, yo. So, like, thank you. All right. So, Mike, yo, this is some true stuff, right? When I was in middle school, right, I was in gym class and we were playing ball. Now, this is when I was in 8th grade. This dude, Brian, was in 7th grade. Now, Brian was like a super athletic kid. Like, I was one of the best athletes in the gym, and he was a grade below me, but he could already compete. Like, he was one of the 7th graders who was good enough to compete with the 8th graders. He wasn't as good, but he was good enough to compete. And he wasn't quite our size yet. And so we got into it in the gym, right? And we're arguing. And like, I'm already like established in 8th grade, like one of the popular kids known for beating people up, whatever. Yo, this dude, Brian, dubs me mad quick. Yo, and then he's gone. Like, he takes off.
Listen, holding your face.
Nah, I couldn't even do anything. Cause like, yo, listen, this kid, when I tell you this kid, Brian, was like just running fast, he was fast. But like, he threw the punch, it was fast too. So like, bam, I looked and he was gone. So I started chasing him. Now I'm gonna be real with you. I'm fast. I was fast then. I'm fast now. This kid Brian was faster than me in 7th grade because we used to play football, and like, you know, we'd be out there. He was arguably the fastest kid in the yard. So this kid Brian decks me. He decks me. I look, he's gone. So I chase him. I couldn't catch him. Right. So I'm mad. He was faster than me anyway. So he was like I said, let's want me. So I'm mad. I'm like, yo, it's on. I got the plan already. The plan's in motion after school, right? And so we had to go meet with Mr. Switch. So we go in his office. Like, I'm coming in late because Brian's already sitting there, whatever. So I sit down. And Brian like apologizes to me and everything. And so it was like, Brian, like, he's like, now that it's all squashed or whatever, I'm playing the game or whatever. He's like, is there anything you'd like to say? And Brian looks at me, he goes, did it hurt? He asked me if his punch hurt. And I just started dying. It was the funniest thing. I was like, you know what?
Wow.
I was like, I like this kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like this kid. He asked me if his punch hurt. And I was like, no, it didn't hurt. It was annoying. Like, you know, and then I found out that he played Pop Warner football for a different organization because I was playing like Pee Wee football, and I found out he played Pee Wee football. And so we became like my friend, and he was like a really talented football player. But like, just in that moment, like you said, like, I had it set up, like I wanted to beat up the dude or whatever. When he asked me, did it hurt? I realized he was just a young buck, like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even. I'm like, yo, I'm about to set it off on this little dude who wants to know if his punch hurt. Like, you dig what I'm saying? When I hit someone, I don't question if it hurts. Like, I know it hurts. Like, if I hit someone with a clean shot, I expect them to go down or to be stunned for moments. Like, you know, so anyways, when after that situation happened, he ended up becoming like my little guy. Like, I ended up taking him under my wing because like I liked his heart. But when Gary Russell hit Terence Crawford, he didn't run. That's my thing. Like, if that kid was standing in front of me, if Brian was standing in front of me, like once I came back like this, oh, he was going to get stomped out. It was going to be ugly for him. But Gary Russell was saying, I decked him, and I stayed right there, and he did nothing.
I'm a dog. Ruff, ruff.
So he told his face. Nah, but here's what I really believe. I believe it was a sucker punch because, like, in my situation, we're arguing about basketball, bro. I didn't expect this kid to throw a punch, right? This kid threw a punch, and then he ran, right? But to TC's credit, too, sometimes it's just like you have to weigh your options. Because, like, for me, I could beat this kid up, I could stomp him out, but then what's going to happen with me? Like, what's the school going to do? What's going to happen here? He said he got kicked off the team anyway because they were anticipating, like, retaliation. So it's one of those situations where I can understand both sides. I can understand why TC didn't strike back immediately. You know, I can understand Gary Russell feeling like, oh, I decked him and he didn't do anything.
Okay.
When here's where these stories connect. Let's say now I saw Brian, and Brian was bragging about how he punched me in the face when we were in 8th grade, like he was about that action. Then I'll beat his ass now. You see what I'm saying? It'll be a whole different ball game now. See, I looked at a kid, 7th grade, and I'm a year ahead of him. Now we both men. But even as men, I doubt he would do that. He never did it. He knew it was corny. He knew it was sucker. He knew what it was. But like Gary's bringing it up, like it's so then settle it in the ring then. So if it was me and Brian, and we were both pro fighters, and Brian's running around saying he did that, I don't care if I'm heavyweight and he's middleweight. You want to come up 40 pounds and try it again? You want to try it again? Because I'll knock you the hell out in front of everybody.
Now that's why you gotta just be the bigger person. Say God bless.
It's no bigger person. You were the bigger person. TC was the bigger person.
That's what I'm saying.
He sucker punched TC. TC let it rock, and now he's talking about it again. So all he got to do is put on 25 measly pounds and fight TC. You know what? He don't even need to put on 25 pounds. You know what? He put on 18 pounds. TC lose 7, and they meet in 147. Bang. I mean, at 140. They meet at 140, and then bang, get it on and pop it. So I don't want to hear it.
Want Gary Russell to be crucified, bro.
Not that I want him to be crucified. Here's what I would say, and we can close it with this, right? TC is saying, let's do it. We could do it in the street. Is that what you want? I would rather see 2 boxers do it in the ring and get paid. That's what I'd rather see. So you see here saying, like, I want to see Gary Russell get crucified. No, Gary Russell believes he can beat TC. He punched TC in the face. He's saying he's willing to fight TC. Gary Russell said, I'm willing to go up to 147. Gary Russell didn't say, meet me at a catch weight. He didn't say, meet me at 135. He said, I'll go up to 147 and beat you up. If he's really that confident, then let him do it. Because I've seen Mike Tyson do it. I've seen David Dewar do it.
Even though
I've seen guys do it.
I want to disagree with you, but I'll say this. At least he has an argument. TC has an argument on why he can set up the fight. I don't agree with the fight, but at least he has an argument. Like, yo, the dude duffed me during the Olympics. We running it back. Or whatever.
Okay, let me end it like this. Which fight would you be more excited to see?
That's what I'm saying. That's
Terence
what I thought.
Crawford versus Cal Velasquez or Terence Crawford versus Gary Russell Jr.?
Gary Russell Jr., I agree. But I don't think it's pay-per-view worthy. But if I had to choose between the two, I'm going to have to go with the Gary
Nobody said it would have to be on pay-per-view. And I would like to amend a statement that I made in a prior segment. There are 2 acceptable fights for TC now. Number 1, Manny Pacquiao, and number 2, Gary Russell Jr. I will give Terence Crawford a pass to fight Gary Russell Jr. 100%. And I want to see that fight, as a matter of fact.
Gee, you guy looking for trouble. He said he'll go up to 147.
He's going up for a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. He want to gain weight to get beat down. You know what I mean? But hey, it's all good. Everybody, please like, share, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Don't forget to follow us and listen to our podcast on every major podcasting service. It's the Boxing Bros. Peace.
I wanna see what's on your mind. You wanna see what's on my mind. Pimpin' all the time. I wanna know if you wanna be mine. You wanna know if you can be mine. Pimpin' all the time. I wanna see what's on your mind. You wanna see